Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Sazak. It is the penultimate day of racing at the summer meeting at Gulfstream Park tomorrow. Closing day with a fantastic car. More about that in a little while. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start the day. Fast main track, firm turf course. Got a couple of carryovers we want to tell you about quickly. The Rainbow Six starts in race number 6. We have an 11-race card today. $5,000, just a little, almost $5,700. That'll skyrocket up. I think they bet about $20,000 into it yesterday. Of course, some is given back. So it'll be up there again. And tomorrow, if it's not hit, it'll be a mandatory payout. Also got a carryover today in the Super High Five, which is in race number 11. And that is $3,333.32. I happen to remember that yesterday because it was all three. So Super High Five in race number 11. And Katie, tomorrow a big day. We got a special post time tomorrow. There you see it, 12:45. 6 stakes races, and as we mentioned, closing day here.
It's Florida Sire Stakes Day, the finale of the series, the third leg. It's going to be a big day. Everyone's going to be trying 2 turns for the first time, going a mile and a 16th, and it's going to be very exciting. We have some nice 2-year-olds here in South Florida. Yeah,
and we got all stakes pick 4 and all good stuff tomorrow, so it's going to be a lot of fun, good wagering, but that is tomorrow. This, as I mentioned, the day before we close, and we're not going anywhere. We're just heading across town a little bit, about 8 miles west, I believe it is, to Gulfstream Park West, and that'll open up on Wednesday. More about that. We got a fast main track, firm turf course. So now you know what's going to be happening here in the next couple of days. But let's see what's happening out there in Twitter world. And the first tweet we want to look at is a horse that Rockfall, multiple Grade 1 winner.
Yeah, he just came out with another gritty win in the Grade 1 Vosburg over at Belmont. He's going to be one of the favorites for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And this horse is sired by Speightstown, stands at Windstar, and everyone says how much this horse reminds them of Speightstown. Well, when Rockfall retires at the end of the year, he's going to stand at Windstar alongside his sire, and that is going to be one great family.
You know, we have great simulcasting here besides our fantastic live racing, and tomorrow we'll be actually, today is opening day of Keeneland. Tomorrow we'll be simulcasting the races there along with our Florida Sire Stakes finale, and a horse that's going to be walking around the paddock tomorrow. Why is that?
Yeah, you know, he's not going to be running in the Grade 1 Shadwell Turf Mile going for a 3rd victory in that race, but he is going to be there parading in the paddock. This is Wise Dan, a 2-time Horse of the Year, was just recently retired, tried to have a comeback but got injured again, and there's some great quotes from trainer Charlie Lopresti about his favorite Wise Dan moments, and he says, you know, not really meant to be bragging because he starts listing Breeders' Cup after Breeders' Cup after win, but this horse, his record speaks for itself. What an amazing animal.
Yeah, amazing animal, and you know, tomorrow we mentioned it's Florida Breeders' Day here in Florida, you know, with the Florida Sire Stakes finale, and one of the horses you wanted to talk about, the FTBOA, they do a great job.
They do, and you know, we're trying to promote Florida breeding. It's a great way. We have 2 $500,000 stakes for horses sired by nominated Florida stallions. So what way to promote the Florida breeding industry? By bringing more sires into Florida. And here we have a new one just announced by the FTBOA. This is Senior Swinger. He's going to La Mancha Stud in Ocala. He formerly stood in Pennsylvania, and we'll be happy to have him. A Grade 2 winner, won on both surfaces, and a nice addition.
Well, that is what's tweeting around the country, and now we're going to delve into the Friday 11 race card. Our first race, 1 mile on the turf, claimants fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $16,000, 9 runners in the field. And before we came on the air, we were talking to all the different people. Everybody wants to know, where is the speed in this opening race? I mean, on paper, it looks like the horse we have on top, Belina Lady, is the one to beat, who's dropping the notch, counted traffic at the quarter pole last time out, lacked room, finished 3rd behind next out winners, 2 next out winners, Don't Tell Vanessa and Pretty Patsy. So key race, all the right things. But I guess if a horse goes on the lead, and a lot of guys thought maybe the number 1 horse, Polly My Love, would be the speed in this race. And I'm looking up now early in the wagering, it's 8-5.
I think if there's any horse that's going to show speed in this race, it's the 8, Patient Digna.
That's the way I saw it, too. This is all different things. And Patient Digna, the horse that I have in second, stretching out to a mile and dropping to the $16,000 level. He tracked the action last time out. You look at, you know, he wasn't tracking the swiftest of fractions in there, but the horse has shown the ability that it can go on and near the lead. So it's going to become sort of a jockey's race in the first race. Who else did you use on the ticket?
I used Starship Sassy. I kind of went, like you mentioned, no speed in here. I could could see if Patient Digna wants to go to the lead and take this, but I just ended up going with form because I think it's just going to be very slow, and we'll see which is the best horse to come out of it. I think Starship Sassy fits right in there. Returned from a year-long layoff to break her maiden convincingly on August 6th. Posted the highest last out buyer of this field. A little bit concerned about a bounce off that layoff, but she was given plenty of time to recover from that effort.
And want to know, before we go to the second race, that the one horse today will be ridden by Harry Hernandez coming back to the races. Let's go to race number 2. 6 furlongs, claimants, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $20,000, 6 runners in the field. And this is a name in the memory of a good friend of mine, Susie Bonds, that worked with us here at Gulfstream for years and years. She was the best. She ran the backside, and nothing can get on without Susie Bonds. So this is in her memory, the second race. Hope you're listening up there, Susie. A good race for you. Katie and I both went with the number 3, Spectacular Flash.
Let's get a nice picking a winner today for Susie. And I think Spectacular Flash, can't go wrong with this barn right now. Ralph Nix made a 4-wide bid to finish a gaining second, was only beaten a length last time out on September 7th. That was off nearly a 2-month layoff. The winner just got the jump on her. She was coming on, but the horse just, got an early start. That was at 6.5 furlongs. She broke her maiden going 7/8. Distance concerns me a little. I hope she's sitting a little bit closer.
Well, the horse that we both have in second, let's go back and look at this horse's last race, and that's Trust Your Intuition.
I think you must use Trust Your Intuition somewhere. Let's take a look. Last time did not have an easy go of it, especially at the start. Stands up a little bit in the slop. Horses get the jump, and then all of a sudden stuck behind a wall there. But you know what? He kept going. Didn't let that stop her at all. She makes a big move around the turn. Look at her making up ground here in the slop. That can be hard to do over this racetrack. It can favor speed on days where it's very sloppy. No worries. Going to draw off now. Taking the turn wide. 4-length winner. Take a look at that. That's what I call recovering.
Yeah, I mean, she broke Burley and just closed. I got it in second along with you, and it's hard not to have, as you mentioned, Ralph Nix and Tyler Gaffalione. Another 4 wins yesterday, and Katie told you yesterday his bug ends tomorrow on Saturday, so when we go across town, he'll be riding as a journeyman, so we'll see how that works out. But we're in total agreement here, and we threw in the 6 Starship Tammy's, turning back to 3/4, and dropping into this 2 lifetime competition. Another one that stumbled at the start last time out, failed to get untracked in that race. It was against better, $16,000 optional claimers going a mile on a sealed, sloppy track, and we've had a lot of that over the last couple of weeks ago, but the last 2 days been absolutely beautiful here. I had a nice breeze yesterday afternoon, past main track, firm turf course. Race number 3 today, 5 furlongs on that firm turf course. Claimers, fillies and the mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 in life, or a race since April 2nd, that is 6 months ago. Scratch the 4, Thunder on tap. Note the jockey on the number 6 in here is Diego Gomez. We have our exacta flip-flop. Katie, you started with the 1, Trio of Mischief.
Well, unlike the last couple of races that we've previewed, this race certainly does not lack speed. I think Trio of Mischief is going to sit the trip just behind the expected pace setters, and the horse you have on top, Morgan Falls, Wov, Darn Proud, and another Smoky could also show speed. This one's been narrowly beaten in our last 2 starts since dropping out of allowance company. Made a 5-wide bid around the turn and was just out-dueled by a horse named Moonlit Matinee last time. That day, she won her 3rd straight, so I think this one is sitting on a big performance.
Yeah, and Morgan Falls got away with really sensible fractions last time out. I don't know if that's going to happen this time around with a horse like number 5, Woven Air, who I put in 3rd. But I'm going back and looking at this. I'm thinking maybe I should have gone with Trio of Mischief on top of the ticket because of all the speed in there. But, I'll go exacta box. I'll give it that. I'll talk about the 5, and that's WOV or Wove. Leaves little doubt as to what her running tactic is going to be. She's going to leave the gate, and she's going to just be trying to make every pole a winning one. Antonio Sano, Marcos Menendez atop there. It's a speedy daughter of Broken Vow. I think she's going to be the one that controls the early pace.
Absolutely, and Morgan Falls definitely deserves to be on the ticket somewhere with her form, and she's been known to run all the way and be able to hold on before.
And you used little Daniela on your ticket.
I did. Claimed by Efren Loza Jr. out of a state-bred allowance on July 4th, going to return to both the turf and the claiming ranks. Loza is 40% when returning horses from layoffs of this length. first off the claim.
Well, let's go to race number 4, 7 furlong starter, optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, $10,000. Glad to see you have the 3 Russian Greek on top of your ticket, because that's my best play of the afternoon. I'll tell you why. Cutting back to 7 furlongs, first start since leading every step of the way to defeat. Now, gets this. Next out winners, Johnny Handsome, who won the Rained Out the Vid Stakes in its next start. Rich Daddy in a hard-knocking campaign that we know very well and be running today, Valid Concept. So coming out of a key race, one of those horses actually came out, albeit won a stakes race on a race moved to a sloppy main track, but Russian Greek right on top of my ticket.
Yeah, and again, this is another race where I think every single horse in here, except for maybe Rancho, has speed. But I think on the turn back, he'll be able to show a little less and stalk the pace and pounce.
And we both used number 2, Old Time Stakes, claimed in 8 of his last 11 races. So he's popular in the claiming box.
He's going to run for the 4th different trainer since May, 5th if you count that Herman Walensky claimed him back because he liked him so much. So a very popular horse. He finished 2nd last time out to Rich Daddy, who would go on in his next start to finish 3rd in a stake behind Grade 2 winner East Hall.
Well, I used number 6, Union Label, in 3rd, who moved to the Victor Barbarossa barn via the claim, Victor Barbarossa Jr. barn via the claim, notching its 2nd consecutive victory. That was against $6,250 claimers going 6 furlongs, albeit it was in the slot. But here's the key. Tyler Gaffalione has just been in a zone, so I threw this one on my ticket. Who else did you use?
I used Double Judge. I think Juan Arias, the trainer, has done an excellent job with him. Returned him from a 5-month layoff in a soft spot, drew off by 2 lengths in an open claimer. Now he's stepping up to the allowance ranks. 2nd start back, and he's 4 for 7 at the distance.
So that is how we see the 4th race, the 5th race this afternoon. 6 furlong maiden claim is 3 and up, $35,000. Scratching a morning line favorite in here, and that is number 6, Honor Earned. I moved up to the number 7,
Equilibrium?
Equilibrium, that's what I was trying to say. I'm going equilibrium. Equilibrium. I see I lost my balance there for a minute.
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay. Let's hope this horse can keep it in this race number 5. And what I found intriguing was that Tyler Gaffalione, he's on this one and was not on the Knicks horse.
Right.
So I actually had him on top from the beginning. He's dropped into the maiden claiming ranks for the first time in his 2nd start off an 8-month layoff for Gustavo Delgado. Showed speed, faded to 4th when going a mile over a sloppy racetrack last time out. Should like the turn back when also having a race under his belt off the vacation.
That's equilibrium. I got it now. But here's the greatest named horse of the day, and that is the 8 horse who I have in 2nd, you have in 3rd, Red Hot Ralph, and it's not trained by Ralph Nix. I thought this was funny, dropping it from maiden special weight to the $35,000 level. It's a gelded son of AP Warrior, 3rd at the distance last time out. Jonathan Gonzalez in the saddle. I just thought that the horse figures in here, and the name just had me laughing.
Ralph Nix, if you're watching, can you claim this horse today? Because I really think would be a great fit in your barn.
You know, you have the 3-horse Pure Talent in 2nd. I think it's a logical choice to be on the ticket behind number 7, Equilibrium.
This horse seems to do just enough to hit the board every time, regardless of the competition level. We'll see if he can pull through today. He does boast some of the better numbers in terms of buyers of this group.
So we're in basic agreement. Just got our 2nd horses and 3rd horses flip-flopped in there. Race number 6, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden special weight runners, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. And we have some scratches we want to report in here. Scratch the 5, Sweet Medea. Scratch the 10, Liberty Road. And also scratch the main track only participant, number 11, Street Smoke. I went with the 7 in here. Bridal Fashion. Katie, you went with the 8 horse. You went with Gabby's Kitten, who was the daughter of Kitten's Joy.
What's not to like about that on the turf here at Gulfstream Park? This one returned from a 6-month layoff to finish 3rd in a $50,000 maiden claimer. Finished behind a horse named Cleverness that day, who came back to break her maiden in her next start by 3 lengths. So coming out of a key race, taking a page out of Ron Nicoletti's book, and that's why I went with the 8, Gabby's Kitten. But again, Ralph Nix has a horse in here, and you can't leave that one off.
Yeah, and I like Gabby's Kitten for all the reasons you mentioned there, and actually wrote it. It's a horse that I definitely are going to use on my ticket. Number 7, Bridal Fashion. Remember, this is where the Rainbow 6 starts. Bridal Fashion, as you mentioned, from the Ralph Nix barn, $350,000 daughter of Unbridled Soul, making her first start. The last time you looked, she set a pressured pace. She faded in that race to finish fifth. It was on the turf here, but it was during March. It was a while back. But Ralph Nix, Tyler Gaffalione handling her first start in 7 months. The barn has just been so good. Had to put this one on top of my ticket, but I like all the reasons you mentioned with the number 8, Gabby's Kitten. We both used the number 9, Dukas.
I find her a little intriguing. She's from the Marty Wolfson barn, making her turf debut today. The sire, Cantharos, 23% with his turfers, doing very well. But Marty Wolfson hasn't historically done well in this area. He's actually 0 for 3 in the last year and just 1 for 10 in the past 2 years with maidens making their first start on turf. Hasn't done it successfully since January of 2014, but she is coming off a very encouraging third-place effort on a sloppy track, so that might indicate that she'll take to the turf.
Yeah, what I liked about it, too, is 2 for 3 in the money on the turf, so there's a reason to believe that. You know, she ran well on the turf. She run again, great connections. Let's go right to race number 7, 6 furlongs, claimers, 3 and up, $6,250. Scratch the 2, Bluegrass Derby, and also note the jockey on the 3 is Alvarado Donis. I don't know much about him, but he's also riding in the last race today, so give him a look when he rides in this race this afternoon, and that is race number 7. Both of us have the 4 Caminito. Going to try and make it 2 in a row today, Katie, after leading every step of the way on a sealed, sloppy track to defeat Similar by about 2.5 lengths that day. Marcial Navarro, he's pretty sharp winning consecutive races. I thought it was the logical one in here.
Absolutely. Tired behind the speedster Quiz Whiz, going 7/8 in August. Turns back and is just absolutely dominant. Love him in the spot.
Yeah, Valdina Satan moved to the Rohan Cretan barn via the claim, turning back to 3/4, stalked the pace last time out. Behind that hard knock and repeat winner, Chillin' Dillon, is the common theme throughout this race. This is a 3-time winner at the distance, 15 races, 3 wins, and we also used the number 5, Pecorino. Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. 1 mile on the turf, claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life or 3-year-olds, $8,000 scratch, both main track onlys, number 12 and number 13. Hard not to have number 6, Adar, on your ticket somewhere when you start your pick 5 this afternoon.
You know what? She unbelievably took 28 starts to break her maiden, but just 1 start after that to get her second win. She has definitely figured things out, and it seems like she's, making up for some lost time here. But in all seriousness, since she's been placed at this level, she's really thrived. I think she can make it 3 in a row.
Well, she's trained by Antonio Sano, so if you like that, you could also use the horse that we have in second, and that is Zamarada, who, like Adar, as I mentioned, trained by Antonio Sano, goes back to the grass today after drawing away in the slop to defeat $8,000 2 lifetime runners. That was going a 1-turn mile. Edgar Zayas guide this half of the uncoupled entry. Should we say it again, the old adage about the longer price of the uncoupled entry?
Why not? It holds true, that's for sure.
I went to the inside with the 1 Satorian, a late striding type I think could be there to grab a piece of the exacta or trifecta.
I could say the same thing about the 10 Greek Flower.
Let's go to race number 9 this afternoon. 6 furlongs, an allowance optional claimer for state-bred runners in here, and we want to go back and show you a performance of a horse that was really impressive the last time it ran at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, you're going to remember this name because he certainly caught your eye with his maiden-breaking score back in January. This is J.S. Bach from the Todd Pletcher barn. This will be his first start since January, and might have been more of a gallop than a race this day. He won by 8.5 lengths. I think he really finds an excellent spot to get back on track and restart his career today. Todd Pletcher, 45% with horses returning from layoffs of this length that are coming off their maiden wins. I watched him do it successfully at Saratoga just a couple of weeks ago with a horse named Hartford. I think this horse can continue that trend.
Yeah, homebred Donald Disney, homebred son of Tale of the Cat. So exciting to see him coming back. I mentioned the hard-knocking campaigner that was beat by the horse in the 4th race, Valid Concept. Cutting back to 3/4 of a mile. Responded in the first start. Off the claim by Safi Joseph Jr. Second place finish at this level in distance. That was going 7 furlongs. 6-time local winner. Loves the track. One of those horses, you leave him off the ticket, you get burned.
You're going to regret it.
You're right. Who else did you use?
Big Awesome. He's making his first start off the claim for Charles Carey off a strong win on September 7th against $30,000 claimers. I might like him. I like him much better in this spot because of a sprint than in the route races he's been running, and he has stakes experience.
Well, let's go to race number 10 this afternoon. 1 mile allowance optional claim of 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level is $16,000 in the end. The horse that Katie has on top is the number 8, but we want to go back and show you the performance of a horse called Aces for John, who I have in second. Katie, you have a third.
I do. I actually was expecting him to be a bit of a higher price than he is today, but I think he should be somewhere on the ticket. This is back from July 24th, and this is the last time he ran at a mile, which is obviously the distance they're going to be going at today. He actually defeats a next out stakes winner in Your Dreams Are Mine by a length and 3/4. He's got 2 wins in a second from 3 starts at the distance. I thought this was a very convincing win, and he was second in the 3 Chop Road Stakes last time out.
Yeah, and this is, as you mentioned, his best distance. 3 races at that distance with 2 wins in a second, so loves this 1 mile distance. But I did go with the number 4 all over it. Is making his first start since posting back-to-back victories going a mile here, but it was one was in June, one was in August. But Peter Walder about 29% with the 31 to 60 day freshening. Matthew Rispoli in the saddle this afternoon, and this should be an interesting combination. I don't know if I've seen Matthew ride for Peter Walder before, and he was in great form last week. He had a couple of stakes wins, Matthew. So we'll see how this horse turns out. And you went with, as I mentioned, the number 8 horse right on top of your ticket, and that's Tiger of Wales.
This horse really disappointed me last time out. He was the favorite, and he faded in a $50,000 optional claimer. That was on August 21st. He was 5th that day. That broke a 2-race win streak, though. He won those 2 by a combined 10.5 lengths. I'm hoping he can return to form today.
Well, just looking at our selections, if you have a chance, I would go a little deeper in this 10th race because it is a wide open affair. The horse I threw in third was In Power, turning back to this 1-turn mile on the dirt. Shipped in from Delaware, finished 5th. It was against entry-level allowance runners. It was going on the turf. I just thought this horse clearly does its best running on the main track. 5 races on the main track with 3 wins in a second. Our 11th and final race this afternoon is a 1-mile maiden claiming event for 3-year-olds and up. $10,000. 2 scratches in here. Number 2, Orantos Society. Also scratch number 5, Grandpa King. And number 6, El Kraken from the Dave Brady barn. Sure looks like he should be on somebody's super high-five ticket in this race.
He's certainly competed against a lot tougher. He's adding blinkers today after making a 5-wide bid to get up for 4th. That was when he ran for a tag for the first time. It was for $20,000. He's now going to cut that tag in half. He was second twice in maiden special weight company. I think getting more involved early can help keep him a bit more interested in running, so I like the addition of the blinkers.
Well, I went with number 3, Black Phoenix in second, who's 4-1 on the morning line. Is another dropping and stretching out today. After failing to fire when finishing 5th behind aforementioned El Kraken last time out, Ramon Morales, Tyler Gaffleone handling that rematch this afternoon. I just think this horse has some upside in him and maybe can close. I'm in agreement with you that El Kraken is the one to beat here. So I threw Black Phoenix on my ticket, but you went with the number 10 horse in second. That is Gunnery.
He's also adding blinkers and comes in after getting the ultimate equipment change. He was gelded since his last start. Going to make his first start off the claim for Fergus Bogle. He's hit the board in each of his last 2 starts, but they were both on grass. We'll see if that can translate. Yeah, and I threw the 1 in third, and that is the 1 Huddy Up, and this one's going to break from the rail. Dueled early last time out, finished third behind a repeat winner called Untie the Knot at this level and distance. Jerry Buzzo has Jonathan Gonzalez in the saddle, and Jerry Buzzo just still fresh in everyone's mind with that nice win with Flutterby. I always root for Jerry Buzzo. What an amazing man. Well, that wraps up Friday's action as far as we're concerned, pick-wise, but we're going to be here throughout the afternoon having a lot of fun. As we mentioned, one more day here at Gulfstream before we ship over to Gulfstream Park West. Take a field trip. Be nice to have a change of scenery. Change of scenery, but we're not going out without a bang. We're having one day tomorrow of 12 races, 6 stakes, $1.5 million plus, right? $1.45 million. Right on the mark there. It is going to be a fantastic afternoon. 12:45 post. Be there.